What's up, and welcome to Los Wise Guys podcast. I'm your host, Eslam, aka Rock God of the Sun, accompanied by Dan Papa Sun Killer and Dan Emperor Disco. How's it going, fellas?
It's going good. Happy
Going
hump
good.
day to everybody.
It's going good in the neighborhood, yes. If you're live with us on Twitch, it is Hump Day. And for those who are watching this later on YouTube, hope you had a good weekend. But besides that, thank you for tuning into the Los Wise Guys podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It helps us out immensely. Today, what we brought to you is a little piece of ourselves. Because why should kindergartners and first graders be the only ones to do show and tell? Fuck those little kids. They ain't interesting. We're
Like
interesting.
Michael Jordan once said, "Fuck them kids."
Yeah, exactly. Fuck them kids. We're interesting.
It's just a quote. I don't know if he ever actually said it, but if you ever look, there's a quote of just like it's him like with a face, and then it just says "fuck them kids."
That's funny. But we are gonna do some show and tell, showcasing some of our favorite things, um, and I think some of this stuff will tell you a lot about our personalities, which should be interesting.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, let's jump in. Who wants to go first?
Not me.
I'll go first.
All right,
You just pull
Disco.
this bad boy off the
I'm just
wall.
gonna bring the whole wall down. There it is.
My
Yeah.
first item for the show and tell is this Charvel Pro Mod, I believe 24.
Nice.
It's what they call a super strat. It's based off the Stratocaster model by Fender, but it's got way different hardware. It's like a souped up street car almost. And
Nice.
this one is a particular special to me because it has this the neck is man, I forgot what it's called. It's been heat treated pretty much, almost like a knife. And
Real quick for anybody who's not watching the video, it's a guitar. If you're like me and you don't understand any of the terms Disco says, he's holding a
that is
guitar.
true.
It's an electric guitar.
Electric guitar. It's got like a smoothie pink color with a nice brown. And what I really like about this neck, it's all in the wood. It just feels so good in my hand when I stroke it, and I'm going up and down the neck.
Back and forth.
Yeah, stroke your wood, bro.
So good. There's like a texture on it that I have like never felt on another guitar. Other guitars like lacquer it up and it makes it like all weird. I mean, I guess it's a normal feeling, but I just like the uniqueness of this, and even the shape of the neck. That's a big thing for people too. It's this nice D-shaped, which allows for like shredding, a lot of shredding, and it's a versatile neck. Honestly, you could play like every style with this neck, and I spent the many hours just trying to learn music theory on this thing and doodling and just letting out all this crazy emotions. It's pretty much like therapy for me. Just I used to every day just what kind of video can I make today, and I spent so much time on this. I love it. And for my birthday, I'm gonna get a new neck pickup. I'm gonna put in a mini humbucker, which pretty much gets rid of the 60
Gotta get those humbuckers.
I mean, it sounds like you're just making terms up.
These are all real terms, but no, yeah, I really love the versatility of this guitar. The neck pickup that I actually put in myself, so it means even more to me because I love modifying my stuff. Like even if I spent a lot of money, this guitar was $1,000 plus, or I mean a little under 1,000, and I just like really personalizing stuff to my needs, and it's a daunting task, that modification, because you really do run the risk of just messing everything up. But I didn't. In fact, I made it a lot better. And short fun fact, traveling with guitars on airplanes sucks because they broke one of my tuning pegs. And I got to New Jersey once and I realized it was broken. I was like, what the F? What the F? And
Because they open it up, or?
They left a note, like opened it up because they were checking for hazardous material, or whatever. And then I guess they've never seen tuning pegs like this because these are pretty unique. They're locking tuning pegs where it's just an extra layer of protection. But I guess they never saw it, so they popped off this top one right here. And luckily I had a replacement, but shoot, man, that really pissed me off. And so now I'm very weary of traveling with my baby.
Mm,
It's like I used to like cycle through different guitars like every couple months, but this is like the one that actually stole my heart. It has a full 24 fret neck. Usually they go up to like 20 or something like that, which makes all the difference. 24 fret.
quick
What else?
question. By cycle through, do you mean like return and buy a new one, or like sell it and buy a new one, or
Yeah, yeah. I
just,
would sell my previous guitar and get a new one because I was just like still like I don't know what I like and just trying to find the right one and then this is the one, man. It just
How long
I
have you had
can't.
this one for?
This one I've had for like 3 years,
Okay.
maybe four. Good amount, maybe 5 years. I don't even remember to be honest. I gotta look that up. I'll get back to y'all. But man, I just man, if there's an inanimate object that I could really just say I love, this would probably be it. I love all my stuff really.
Yeah.
I get obsessed like that. I think in my later years I think I'm partially like autistic or something or on the spectrum lightly because I get really obsessive about the things that I own and I love them. I genuinely love them to pieces and like if people get close to them, I'll like bark at them. I'm just like, get away from my baby. And this is one of them. So it just really helps me relax. It's the therapy. It's just fun noodling sometimes. I can put my girl to sleep with like very soft melodies and sometimes when she's on her week her menstrual week, I'll just play like really soft stuff in the background, make her like a soundtrack to her period. um but yeah, I just love music. I've always loved music and growing up I've always had like music playing and granted I kind of like Eslam, I fell off music a little, but
Mm.
I still come back to the guitar and I just always want to get better at it, even though I don't play it as much as I want to anymore. But it's just it's just a sight for sore eyes. I just love that smoothie pink color, just gets me so ready to go. And so yeah, that's my Charvel Pro mod. Man, my Super Strat. Such a beauty. All right,
Yeah.
that's it for that one. Who's next?
You're muted, Nestle.
sorry, I'll go next. Alrighty. First thing is this bad boy. So this was a gift from my dad that he got in Egypt. Now this is not really like a traditional Egyptian like weapon or anything like that, like ancient Egyptian. But I mean, it's very fucking cool. It's actually made out of animal bone. Like this
Mm.
is
Oh wow,
like a real femur bone or whatever.
dang,
This
that's a
is
thick
like
one.
yeah, this is like real leather here. I don't know why there's seashells on it, but you know,
Why
whatever.
not? You know.
This is a leather strap, and the hilt is actually not bad. Like the way they shaped and the bone and stuff like actually fits in your hand pretty decently. The only thing I hate about these things is the shitty metal work of the blade. Like it is not good. Like it really sucks, and like it ruins the piece because like look at this. It's just no good shape to it. Like it doesn't matter if it's sharp or not. Like it's not really like a good shaped blade, and I've seen these a lot. Even like with these like decorative daggers they do. Like you don't have to make the blade sharp. It doesn't have to be like high quality steel, but like make the shape nice. Make it look like it's nice. But it has like the leather top here as well, and this is the slit where the blade goes through. But like the crazy thing is like this thing is really heavy, and it's like what blows my mind is it's like it's real bone. Like
Mm.
I like it even has a smell to it. Like it has like a little bit of a smell to it to the bone, and they have like these carvings that they've done like inside the bone, and it's solid, man. Like I can use this as like to bludgeon someone. Like I don't even need the blade. Like I just
Yeah,
can take this and bludgeon the bejesus out of someone they try to break in here. But it's it's just it looks really nice. It looks really cool. I can't wait to like hang it up somewhere in the house. We're still like putting everything together. I haven't even put any of my stuff up yet, or so I'm excited. This is just like a really cool thing my dad got from Egypt, and he got it from like southern Egypt, like where the temples are and stuff, like the ancient Egyptian temples in like Luxor and Aswan, and like there's like like tribes people down there and stuff, and like old school, and like they do craft stuff like this. So it's always very cool, but it's really good quality. Like even the leather up here, it's not like loose, like it doesn't move, or like it's like very good glue and stitching, and
it looks
you
like a
know
sturdy hide. Like it
no,
definitely, it
it
definitely
is.
looks
It
awesome. Yeah.
definitely is. Like when you touch it and feel it and stuff. Like even the hilt here has hide as well, and up here in the hilt of the
Oh
I
yeah,
forgot what this is called,
the
but
guard. The
yeah, the guard. It has like a nice hide to it too, and like this wrapping that's like I guess like glued down somehow, but it's like really strong. Usually when you get things like this, it's not that. Like the sword I got from Comic Con. I mean, obviously it's a display sword, but like the guard itself came off. Like
That's happened to a few of mine. Yeah.
yeah, like the glue just wears out after a while, and just
Yeah.
they're
shows you the
they're
quality.
those
But
yeah, those swords are cheap. I bought one too for $70, and I like practically fell apart.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Like
wanted to
that's
say that yours looks like something you would see in a game. Like it looks
I'm
low
pretty
key,
sure
like it
this.
gives bleed damage, like insane
Yeah.
bleed damage, or like leaves a curse on somebody.
Yeah.
Like
Yo, for real, yeah. Um, like this probably didn't cost my dad more than like $20. You know what I mean? Like it probably wasn't that expensive, and it's like for these people, like they killed their own animals for food,
Mhm.
and this is like a really smart way of like repurposing the bones to make some money off the animal after
Yeah.
you've consumed the meat, like to take the bones like this, carve them out, like it's treated somehow, like the bone. Like I don't know what they treated it in to make it uh, this texture, but it's almost feels kind of like porcelain, which is also very cool. So yeah, it's a very cool piece that I got from Egypt, thanks to my dad, and yeah, one of my cool objects that I have here for today's show and tell. You know
Nice.
what I mean?
All right.
that shit's
I like
sick.
it. I like it.
No, yeah, for real.
Um, so my thing is not gonna have any emotional attachment like at all. So this a couple years ago there was a game that came out, a sequel by the name of Middle Earth: Shadow of War. I
hmm
always forget because Mordor was the first one. It's based off Lord of the Rings, where you play as a ranger who's been mixed with Celebrimbor, the guy who made the One Ring, right? So when you bought the game, they gave you this free item that comes in this little box, and I still have it, and I have never in my life needed it. It actually has a purpose. So it's a bottle opener, which looks cool because it's made in the what the hell's the term
Oh,
of it?
it's like an
Like
axe, like
hammer.
a
It's an Elden Forge. It's the Forge
oh
Hammer,
the
the one that was
forge. Nice,
used to make
nice.
the thing. So that's it, and it's
Oh,
also
that's
like I said, a
actually
bottle
pretty
opener.
awesome, bro.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and it's
That
pretty
is
like
cool.
heavy too.
Yeah, it
And
looks
it's
like it. It looks like a
yeah.
piece of metal.
So yeah,
Um,
it's pretty dope.
That,
It's funny
that
because I
actually is
don't.
like a really cool little random
yeah,
like
Oh
trinket.
yeah,
I like
and it
that.
was just like, here, you get it free with the game. I was like, okay, why
Yeah.
not? And then I was just like, I don't drink anything that requires this. So basically, it was in the house when I was living with my parents. I was just like, hey, I have a bottle opener if you guys ever need it. So that was when it was used. Basically, if there was ever like guests over and they needed to open up a beer, this is what
yeah,
they would use. And then when I moved away, I was like, I'm gonna need that back. It was like, but
yeah,
you don't drink. I was like, no, but I actually
yeah.
appreciate it for where it came from. With that being said, I don't even like the game that much. Never finished it. It's okay,
So it does have a
but
little sentimental value.
I mean, it's sorta like I mean, it's cool.
Yeah,
That's really it. It looks cool. Like there's really not much else to it.
yeah,
I'm so bad with bottle openers. I don't even know how to properly use it. I assume you hold it like this and then you pop
Yeah.
it. Some I don't know.
you just have
Um,
to hammer the circle, the sides.
yeah, but yeah, that's my thing. The Elven Forge hammer that Celebrimbor used to make the ring and open up his beers. So
Nice.
we got that
He opens the Mexican Coca Colas.
exactly.
Some Jarritos.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know what that is. All right.
It's a Mexican soda also.
That
The Latin.
Doritos.
Yeah, the Jarritos. Yeah. Yeah. All right,
All
Tisco,
right.
what you got next?
So my next one, I was just like looking at all my knives, and I was like, which knife should I pick? And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give credit to my knife sharpener because people see knives and they're like, oh, it's a knife, but they don't like appreciate what it took to get that knife super sharp. And so here, I've gone through many a sharpening system, but what I have here today, I don't know if you can see it. It's ultra sharp 3 diamond plates, and uh, this is what it really looks like. I just have the 3 different plates stacked on each other. Comes in 300 grit, 600 grit, and 1200 grit, and this is by far the best sharpening system that I have found, the sharpening product, and it's taken me years to learn how to sharpen knives. And I have
Because you got to
huge
get
like
that angle right.
bowies. Yeah, you have to maintain that angle, and that's really hard.
Hmm.
And I have like a million knives on me at all times, and so I just thought this would be a very nice share because if any like you like you have your knife, you can use these to put a very nice, excellent edge on them. And in the age of knives, everything's about like super steels and
Hmm.
having super tough metals and all types of craziness. Uh, where this is where these plates really come to shine with super steels because they're diamond plates. They're pretty much like nickel slabs with diamonds halfway in. Um, so clearly, diamonds are like one of the hardest
Hmm.
objects or like substances known to man. So it rips right through those super steels where regular whetstones would typically have problems. And you look on the internet, a lot of people complain like, "Oh, these super steels are madness. They're like so hard to sharpen." But once you keep the edge on the super steels, they last for a pretty good amount of time. And man, I just really love these. I Like I was telling
Curious
Dan, I get super obsessed. I carried
Yeah.
these around for like a month before, like when I first got them, and they're heavy as heck.
For those plates, so you have three there, but do you have to like do those plates like get sanded down over time with use?
Theoretically, over time, yeah, they will reach a point where the diamonds there are no more diamonds, but
Hmm.
that's like years
Okay.
down the road. It's gonna last at least a decade easily.
Okay.
And also, it's you don't really use all of them. You only use like the 300 if you have like real like chips or something, or if you have to reshape
Hmm.
your blade, maybe because you just haven't sharpened in a long time and you need to just re-angle the edge.
Yeah.
As that's a really important thing with knives is the blade geometry. So if it's like making like an obtuse angle, then clearly it's not going to stay sharp for long. But if it's like the thinner you get, the sharper it will get, but also it kind of weakens the integrity of the blade because there's less metal behind the point.
Yeah.
So there's like very get very scientific with these, and
Yeah, that's why the angle is important, and that's why the katana is one of the sharpest swords ever made because of just the angle and the way it's sharpened. Um, but one of the cool things I've found recently online is this sharpening system, and it's this trapezoid with like a 15-degree angle, and it has like a metal. It has a magnet on it. So this is for your like home kitchen knives. But I'm
oh,
sure
the
you can.
tumbler,
Yes. So
yeah.
it's really fucking cool, like sharpening system, and then like the knife will like it's like at this angle, the knife will click like that, and then you have this drum, cylindrical shaped sharpener with like a stone on either side. One's a stone, and one I forgot like the steel thing that has like this swirl on it that kind of like clears it. And then you just run the drum back and forth, and it catches the whole knife, perfectly at the angle every time because it's like magnetized to that angle, and then you know just switch it to the other side and you do the
Yeah.
same thing. It's very fucking cool, like sharpening system.
I've actually heard great things about that, but
Yeah,
I already have these stones, and so I was like,
yeah.
Eric was
For
talking
me,
about getting those, but they're kind of pricey. They're like 100 something.
yeah, they
But I've
are.
heard great things, and it's, the beautiful thing is like the angle, it holds the angle, so
Yeah.
like that, and
Because
all you got to
I mean,
do is just
unless you're like a master like knife sharpener who can do the angle by hand, like I'm not gonna be doing it 10,000 hours to be able to just do it by hand and by feel. You know what I mean? So
no,
this
yeah,
is like
it
a
definitely
perfect
took me
thing
years.
because also like with like kitchen knives, I'm not gonna be sitting there with like a whetstone, you know. But I do eventually want to get like these certain like I think they're called kamikoto kitchen, like the knives, like chef's knives, and they're like pretty expensive. They're like $200-300 for like the one knife. But
Yeah, there's
it's
probably
like
some really good steel. VG10 probably. That's a good.
it's
They usually
very
use
nice
that
steel.
for, yeah, kitchen
Yeah,
knives, and uh it's it's resistant to corrosion, which is
yeah,
very important. A lot of these fancy super steels have, they're trading their corrosion resistance for
yeah.
toughness. Not, I don't know if it's toughness. Toughness means something
Like
else in the knife world.
rigidity.
The edge retention.
Okay.
They're increasing edge retention, but they're sacrificing the corrosion. So I don't know if I really like that. But
Yeah.
speaking of kitchen knives, the fiance had a couple knives. So I was like, oh, which are your favorite knives? And so I thought I was doing her a service, so I sharpened them, and I let her know I sharpened them. They're really sharp. And the first thing she does is cut herself. I was like, oh my god. She's like, they're too sharp. I'm like, that's how they're supposed to be. Like, you could cut the tomato and like get that paper
Yeah.
thin slice. Like, that's how sharp they were. And she's like, it's nice. I just have to reteach myself how to cut.
Yeah.
And it's honestly, I just love things that require grit, that require a long time to learn, a real skill that, I just love that. That's why I love
Yeah.
guitar. It took so long, dedicate a lot of hours to that. This knife sharpening, dedicate a lot of hours to just trying to get that angle right. Is like, how many times I've like just busted up a blade and to finally find the ins and outs and the tricks and just how to maintain razor sharp edges on my blades. And I'm a knife enthusiast, so it's very important to me, especially if I'm going to be out on the job as an electrician.
Yeah.
I want my knives to be sharp. I want to be able to cut, and I want to be able to fix them up real fast if I have to. So it's also a great skill because I like outdoor stuff or like bushcraft stuff where I get to use my big ass Bowie, and I could chop wood and do all types of wood shaving stuff, and so it's a nice sharpening system to get that first edge.
Yeah.
Next show and tell, I'll show you my mobile version,
Nice.
but that's it for my sharpening system.
All right. I'll continue the order and go next. Now, I'm sure you guys have noticed by now. I think you guys can see my next piece
The bow.
right
Yeah.
behind me. This is my beloved recurve bow.
Mm.
100% wood. It is very beautiful recurve bow, and I have used this many times. Um, it's fantastic. Look at this beautiful handle, man.
Is
Like
that the
it's
same one that you got from the yard sale, that a long ass handle, or
um,
is that a new one?
it wasn't a yard sale, but no, this is the same one. It wasn't a yard sale. Actually, Dan and I got this one and the other one together.
Yeah.
We were at the comic book shop, and there happened to be like a thrift store going out of business. So like
Oh,
two
me. I
stores,
do remember that.
yeah,
Okay. I thought you were
two.
talking about him. Yeah.
No, no, you.
Yeah.
Two stores down,
Yeah.
and we just I don't know why we just walked in there, and I noticed this guy had like three bows. He had two recurve bows and one long bow.
Mm.
And we just started talking. I was looking at it. I had gotten into bows recently, like online. I was just like watching videos and stuff, and I was just like so surprised to see these there. So I just like asked the guy like, "Hey, how much are they?" He was like, "You can pick two, and I'll give you both of them for like $60." And I was like, fucking soul, give me the two recurve
There
bows.
you go.
And uh I've had this ever since. I've never like let it go. I forgot the weight of this bow. I think it's like 50 pounds is the draw weight. I went to an indoor archery range, and I spoke with the guy behind it, and he kind of like explained some things about the bow and how to string it properly. And I had the string actually like the other way, and like he showed me like this is how you're supposed to string it, and like you and it was interesting because he told me I'm only allowed to shoot like for this type of bow. You're supposed to use arrows with real feathers. Most arrows nowadays have like the silicone like tips, the wing tips in the back. But he
Yeah.
said you need real feather tips for this one, and he like went to the back, got me like 5 arrows with like feather tips, and he let me shoot the bow inside, and it was really fucking cool. It's a great indoor archery range. I think it's called Stark Archery. Um, out here in Jersey. It's fantastic. The guy's really knowledgeable. They give like a safety class, and they offer lessons. They have a bunch of recurve bows, but not the same weight. They're all the other ones are lighter. I think they're like 20 pounds or something,
Yeah,
like
typically
15.
they're like 20 to 30 or 50.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Very lightweight because
yeah. This one was like a lot heavier than all the ones he got. Cause like Nadia and I went, and he let me use my bow, and then we rented out a bow for Nadia, and like I tried it. It was like so like I was shooting this for like half an hour, and then I shoot the other one. It was just like the draw was like so light. I was like, whoa. Yeah, but this one I think is like 50 or 70 pounds. I don't know, something like it's like way heavier than
I,
the ones
I
he
don't
had.
think it's 70, but definitely it could be 50.
Yeah, it might be 50, but yeah, it's really fucking cool, man. I really enjoy shooting this. Like the craftsmanship on this, it's really cool.
And you got
Um,
it for a steal, man. $60.
yeah,
My girlfriend, my fiance's brother, last time he was here was like he's just starting to get into the archery phase.
yeah.
So we went to the Bass Pro shop, and a lot of them were like 100 to 150 just for one, and it was like
Well, the
30
ones they
pound
have
draw weight too.
now is like they'll have like this piece like up to here, like up to where it starts curving, like the hilt where you hold it. It's wood, and then on the wood there's like this metal brace that holds like this I guess metal piece that's the recurve part of the bow where the strings get attached. But this is 100% wood. It's recurved and it's fantastic. It's one of my favorite things I have actually that I own. I'm really glad I bought this and I didn't be like, oh, I'll come back for it. Um, it was really fucking cool. Yeah. But that is my recurve bow.
Archery is such a fun hobby too. I
It
wish there was
is.
just like a closer archery range to me. I I I had a 50-pound compound bow, and I was shooting it in
Yeah.
my house, which I do not recommend anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was shooting this huge roll of like a roll up bubble wrap, and it was like I got from my mom's job. It was like maybe 5 feet tall. It was thick too. It was actually catching the arrows, but I missed one, and it went through my back kitchen window, and it still had enough force to like halfway go through my garage wall, which is like a full wooden wall.
This
So
was
yeah,
back in Jersey, right?
yep.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah, I
crazy.
remember.
Crazy.
Yeah, I remember almost shooting into like your neighbor's yard a couple times.
Yeah, I have had the cops called on me because of that. I let one of Chris's friends shoot it, and he just totally shot into the neighbor's like backyard and
Yeah.
busted up his garbage can,
Oh,
and
jeez.
he could have killed somebody. It's
Yeah, exactly. Gotta be
totally
careful.
warranted. You shouldn't be shooting in the backyard.
Yeah.
That's why I had to stop, and eventually I switched over to slingshots because I was like, I can't be shooting these these bows around. But
I think that's one of the next things I probably want to get is a compound bow. But um, like with this one, when you shoot, like it's you can't like compound bows has a sight, right? You can sight the arrows and you can shoot pretty accurately. With these, they don't. You can't sight the arrows, so it's all by feel. I forgot the
Yeah,
exact
it's called like instinct shot or something like that.
something like that. It's I forgot. Like there's a word, there's like a phrase for it. I completely forgot what it is, but after like shooting like a couple of rounds, I can do a nice like grouping on the sheet actually. So I'm pretty decent with that, and like actually, usually you shoot straight ahead. With this one, you can kind of tilt it a little bit, and when
Yeah,
you tilt, like you can aim a little better if you. But yeah, I haven't won in a while. When Nadia and I first started dating, we went on a couple dates to the archery range, but we haven't been in a while. We're so fucking busy, but maybe I'll get to go and get a session in sometime this summer. That would be
just,
fantastic.
just a regular old Katniss Everdeen.
Yeah. Or I could be Legolas. There's that guy.
No, 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 no. He's too
No,
cool.
he only missed twice in like
Yeah.
two. No, he's in what, like freaking six movies now.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I realized with the items I have here, I could do like a kind of a theme sort of. So it's all gonna be gaming related,
Nice.
not necessarily video gaming. Which brings me to this item. So before COVID happened, there was a trip to Chicago.
Yeah.
C2E2 and AEW
Literally
Revolution 1.
like 3-4 weeks before COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I remember watching the news at the hotel. They were talking
Yeah.
about this disease that was just starting to get to New
Yeah.
York.
Yeah. Right. I think that was like the day after I got visited by the ghost. Yeah.
But one of the things I bought there, so Eslam and I, we went to Chicago. We went to a couple different things, and we went to the C2E2, the Chicago Comic Entertainment Expo, and we played true D
Oh,
and D.
nice. Yes. Yes. You
Yeah,
bought the
so
set.
I did buy a set of die.
Yeah.
So I do have
That
that
was
there.
awesome.
Yeah, and it's cool because also it was like the purchase was like to stop brain cancer. So I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll definitely get that. I even paid a little bit extra for the thing. Really cool die. Here I'll pull out the D20. Really heavy. Disco, while you're doing your thing, two of them fell and it made a really loud noise. So I muted myself for most of that just in case it happened again. But has a lot of weight. Really cool coloring. It's like silver. It shines with the light. It has the only problem I have with it, and can't focus, has a very small font for the
Mhm.
letters, for the numbers. I mean, so it's a little hard to see. I remember when we were playing that day, Islam, I would roll, and I was like, "What the fuck did I roll?" Because like the light was shining because it was really bright in that room. I
Yeah.
was like, it was hard to see. But I mean, other than that, they're really cool. Um, I mean, they have a real big weight to them, and it's the whole set. So I got, the D20, D6, D12, D8, D10. I even have like the percentage die and the D4. So it's pretty cool. I've only ever gotten to use it that one time, and yeah, so that's the thing. Like I said, I really don't have emotional attachment to any of my stuff, so I'm done. Who's up next?
All right, Disco.
I want to go to your house and just play D&D with like for one weekend and just leave.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, no, I'm down.
But
Let's do a trip to Dan's house and play D&D. That's
that'd
the
be
only
sick.
time we're allowed in his house.
Pretty
It's
much.
for
Yeah.
D&D.
You got
Well,
48 hours and you're
I
out.
mean, who's to say I won't
Trespass.
have just a fake house prepared?
I mean, you rent
Yeah.
you rent like
A
a
storage
storage
facility, like
unit.
one of them
Yeah,
storage.
you rent.
I mean, I do have a storage unit already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we just set up a table in there that we play in there,
yeah.
and like you're like, all right, bye.
So my last item is my probably one of my most prized possessions, and it is this pistol. It's a 9 millimeter Sig Sauer P226 Extreme. I my first gun was a Glock, and there's nothing wrong with Glocks, but
This
I
is a
feel like
German gun, right?
this is I
Is it German
believe
or yeah,
I think Sig Sauer is made in America, but it could be German. I don't know.
yeah.
But
I don't know. Sounds like a German name. Let me look it up real
yeah,
quick.
yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I started off with the Glock, and I know Glock's Austrian or something like that, but I don't know about Sig. I think I want to say American. I know the
Okay.
Navy SEALs used it for a while, and it was like their go-to pistol. Um, but this one, I went to a shooting range with my cousins, and what they had like a couple guns for rent, And so the dude was like, I asked the dude, hey, what gun do you recommend?
Yeah,
And he
German.
recommended the standard P226, so the regular one. And what makes it special for me is it's a different like uh, shooting mechanism. And also I was also kind of in the mode looking for like a hammer action. Uh, and what makes it very special for me is it's a double action, single action. And so what that means is the first round has a long trigger pull. As you can see, the trigger is like very it's almost normal looking. And when you pull it, it has like a longer uh, distance to the trigger like threshold. But if I cock it back, it turns into single action. And now this is like cowboys. They're cowboy revolvers. A lot of them are single action, and now there's less draw weight on the trigger, which I've realized is like a big factor in shooting and helps my groupings become tighter because there's less trigger play. Um, so it's like a very easy, like a very light pull, and if you have that full draw weight, it kind of like your micro twist the gun, and you'll
Yeah,
see
so
like a micro like
what I've heard with like guns, you're supposed to squeeze the trigger, not pull it, because when you pull it, like you said, it pulls to like one side, usually where you're pulling from. So that makes a lot of sense. I've never actually
yeah,
shot a gun, but
yeah. No,
so
and what you said
question.
is absolutely right though, because I
So
when after I switched to this, I was like, oh
yeah.
shit, that really is a thing.
So for this, when you have the hammer cocked back and it's single action, once you fire, does the hammer fire and come back to position, or do you have to keep pulling it back?
This one is in normal old cowboy revolvers, you do, and that's why they're always like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But for this one, the first shot is double action,
Mhm.
and that's pretty much so that when you're carrying it in your sheath, your holster, uh, it doesn't there's less likely for it to just randomly get pulled
Misfire.
because
Okay.
because if you see it like the triggers like it's like I think it's like 2 to 3 pounds at this point,
Yeah.
but with this it's like 8 pounds or something
Mm.
along those range. Don't quote me on that, but it's you get what I'm trying to say. So if there's more like if something snags on the trigger, it's harder to pull and you're not going to be shooting your foot or person or anything.
Mhm.
And also it's good because if you are in the unlikely situation where you have to use it, it uh you're going to be tense, you're going to be your adrenaline's pumping, and so your finger's going to be on the trigger. And I have fake bullets in here right now, so it's all good. So your finger's going to trigger, and if you're on single action, you can very well likely like accidentally pull that trigger because it's like 2 pounds, it's like nothing. And so it I like it because that first bullet, that first round, it requires a little more effort, and so it's like I'm not going to accidentally shoot somebody or and if I do fire that first round, it automatically slips back into single action,
Mm.
which I'm more accurate with. And so now, if you get past that first round, if the odds are you're in a gun battle. So it's like it's a very technical system, and I really like it because you get kind of best of both worlds. And I just really love that single action. And this one in particular is the extreme, so it costs a little extra. It's like 1,400, but the actual body of the gun is made out of like a aluminum, like aircraft aluminum or some sort of hard metal. And what that does is that when you're shooting, your gun has a lot of recoil. And so this is already 9 millimeter, so it's a small cartridge. And so with the metal frame, it absorbs more of that recoil. So with this one in particular, it's like barely anything. And I just really love that. And it has these G10 grips that are already steepled. And I don't know if you see
Mm.
it, but the little indents, those are
Mhm.
very grippy too and chunky for my, my fat hands. And this is just such a beautiful gun. It's like I just love racking it. I love seeing this thing. I just love having the hammer. It has that whole little cowboy feel. Or and honestly, it reminds me of a 1911, like a souped up modern 1911. And I just man, I'm in love with this thing. The only thing I don't like is this little indicator. It's kind of useful. It lets you know if there's a round in the cartridge, but I also found out that if you like need to just rack it back and throw a round in, you can't do it because of this thing. Which
Ah,
this is like an extreme situation. It's not really likely to happen, and so it's really whimsical in a sense. But man, this gun is just I carry
so
whenever I'm
was that
home. I carry it
how
with
does
me.
that indicator show you there's a bullet in the chamber?
Um, you see right now how this is up.
It's up, yeah.
When there's no round, it's flush with the top.
Ah, okay. Oh, so it's
So,
flush with the top, so it reveals the sight.
well, it doesn't really obstruct the sight, but
Oh, okay.
it's just the easy, quick.
Yeah,
It has like a red side on it. I don't know if you could really see on the camera,
yeah.
but the sides are red. So if you look quickly at a quick glance, you'll be like, oh, it's chambered. Um, there's a round in the chamber. So let me see if I could take it out for you. What you see now,
Yeah.
it's flush. It's gone.
So right now
So
there is no round in the chamber.
yeah. So right now there's nothing. I can't even pull a trigger with no round in the chamber. I
Okay.
have to have like fake bullets. This is a red training round.
Okay. So does that so is that like a blank or is just
No, blanks have
like
uh,
gunpowder?
gunpowder, but no actual projectile.
Yeah.
And that's how sometimes on movie sets, people
Yeah,
will
yeah.
get injured
Yeah.
because there's still something coming
Shrapnel.
out. The
Yeah.
projectile, yeah, or just sometimes there's
S-
dust or like stuff inside the
Yeah.
barrel, and that
So
will
what is that
project
red
out.
so then what is that red practice bullet like? What happens? So it doesn't come out of the gun at all?
It doesn't come out of the gun at all. So right now I can just keep
Yeah.
pulling it, or if I want, I can pull it back in a single action. Right now it's just for me. I use it just to. I originally used it to practice with the different trigger pulls because it does affect you. You get used to kind of having the longer draw weight, which I was at first because I was coming
Hmm.
from the Glock, and then it helped me get used to the single action
No.
and transitioning from that double action to the single action. Uh, and also, if you're showing it to people, that they like to have like pull the trigger and do stuff with it. So if I'll just fill it up with training rounds, and people, could go crazy without me having to worry or just like or they get to have the full effect on the gun without endangering anybody. um, yeah, so this is my baby. It has a decocker too. A lot of a
Sorry.
lot of
I'm 12.
a lot
I'm
of
thinking like, why did he laugh? And I just realized it. Okay.
I was on YouTube for a second.
Yeah,
I
I was like,
should
I don't
not
get it.
I should not own a gun after laughing at that.
But pretty much, if you're like on the Cowboys with the cowboy revolvers, they'll have a 6 rounds on their little like twisty
Oh,
thing,
right. And then they have a
and
little thing
so
to
they'll load
push
up
out
five.
the
They'll load up five so that they can decock without, so they can pull the trigger on the empty chamber without having to shoot a bullet. Because
yeah.
that is a there's no decocker. There's no decocking method. It's either you pull the trigger and it goes up, or
Yeah.
nothing. Like
Yeah.
so this is
That's
a
interesting.
helps make it a little safety, little mechanism. So you just pull that and then boom, you're back in double action and you can holster it. Man, this is just a beauty. I'm gonna go on my birthday. I already planned it. I'm about to shoot 1 billion rounds. 9 millimeter, so it's very accessible cartridge, and this is gonna be my baby in case the apocalypse comes or if aliens come. There's an alien uh, thing in Congress today. They were talking about aliens. So I mean,
Yeah, yeah, I saw.
but yeah, that's it for my gun show. That's
Nice.
my pride and joy. My 6 hour P226 P26 P226 Extreme.
That
Man,
WGFE
it's
deal.
yeah,
All right,
yeah. So
for my next piece, it's also a weapon, but it's a weapon of the mystical, magical kind. And I got this from Salem. I know it's backwards because you guys can't
Mm.
see it right now, but uh, Nadia and I went to Salem like a few years back, and we had a really nice time there, and we happened to see a wand shop, a
mhm.
Harry Potter style wand shop. Like looked exactly like the one in Harry Potter. And we went inside, and they have all these like really cool um, like wands, like and it's not, they're not copied from the show. They have their own like style and like designs of wands. And yeah, so I got this one. It was really cool. I like the color. It has like this reddish maroon purplish hue to it. Um and it's pretty cool, and I got it in Salem, so
Yeah,
where
makes sense.
witch where the witches started. Which was very cool. So, yep, that's my last piece of show and tell. Made it a quick one. My wand. Go check out Salem. Go check out this wand shop. I don't know if it's still
Sponsored by
there.
Salem, the
Yeah,
city.
I don't know. I don't know if it's still around, but Winot's wands. Wynotts wands. So
Have you
go
tried
check.
any spells, Expelliarmus,
Um,
Stupefy?
the only spell I've tried was Avada Kedavra, and I tried that shit on my cat when he was waking me up at 5 o'clock in the morning so he can eat, and I had to give it to him, but it didn't work. Thank God. So you know, we'll see what happens on our next adventure
So
with the
I've
wand.
seen the movies, but you guys just names the spells like I don't know. I don't know what they do. I don't know if
Actually,
Leviosa, that
if you have an
Leviosa.
iPhone or Android, if you like say, hey Google, or activate your thing,
mm,
and then like you say Lumos, which is here, let me show you guys 1 second. So this is my Android. So I go, hey Google, Lumos, and it activates the flashlight.
mm.
So Lumos is the spell in Harry Potter where their wands light up so they can do the light. And yeah, you can do the same thing with iPhone, and you could become a little wizard.
See,
Um,
I'm still a fan of just shaking my phone and then the light turns on. That's always
yeah,
been
yeah.
my thing.
I mean, if you're
That's
a
a
huge
thing.
Harry Potter fan, that's
Oh
and
yeah,
there's
no, I
there's
got you. I've
another
seen all the
spell to
movies.
turn it
I
off.
think
I forget what it's called
I
though,
don't do it.
but
save
Hey,
power,
Rudy,
save power.
appreciate you stopping
Timer.
by.
yeah. All right, go for it then. What's your last?
Oh yeah, so like I said, we keep it in the vein of gaming. So this, let me just get the name real quick. Make sure I don't fuck this up. Okay. Eslam, what's my favorite video game franchise of all time?
Mario.
Mass Effect,
Mass Effect. And of course, I got some Mass Effect memorabilia.
of course.
Uh, so there was the Mass Effect trilogy, which people love. It's a beloved
Hey,
series. It's
get
great.
off the
Some people
camera.
are upset about the ending,
Mm,
and it's just
you
like,
got
hey,
something
I
from
don't.
Andromeda.
Yeah, and I got something from Andromeda.
Show it to me,
So
baby.
what I have is, remember the Mako? Remember how
Oh yeah,
great the
yeah.
Mako was?
Oh man, that's my favorite vehicle of all time.
So they came out with a version that's not the Mako. It's called the
Yeah,
Nomad ND1, and it handles a shit ton better than the Mako
yeah.
does. But yeah, this is a replica model from Andromeda. It does do stuff. It does have a door or
Nice.
two that opens, and you could like see the inside
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It does have a little thing where it shoots guns out from the back.
Hmm.
Um, there is a version of this that you can actually like drive like a car, like a
Yeah.
little toy car. I didn't
Like
buy
an
that because
RC.
yeah, I was like it was like an extra like 100 I was like I'm never going to use it. This one does have lights that do turn on.
Hmm.
I haven't put batteries in this thing in years, so I can't do the lights. But yeah, it does have lights. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Mass
man,
Effect.
it's fun.
So
I've always wanted to like get some of like the collector's edition stuff for gaming.
mhm.
Because some of the stuff they do, I mean, all of it is usually really high quality, and
Yeah.
it's because it's a lot of money, and it's a lot of fun. But like also, it's like usually like $500, and I'm just like I can't spend this money on that.
Yeah, I'm very picky on what I do with like
Yeah,
one if it's a franchise I really care about, Mass
yeah,
Effect. And then I look at it, I look at the pricing. Like this honestly, I think this costs maybe 150.
yeah. It's not
So
bad.
exactly, it's
Yeah,
not bad. And granted, it's just like I was like, do I want to put another 150 into this for
yeah.
so it could drive and I'm never going to drive it? No, I'm sorry. I've never looked inside.
Oh,
So I'm just
okay.
checking out the inside right now. But yeah. Oh shit. There's like a little else. Okay, cool. Yeah. So there's shit in there. But yeah, no, it's cool. Like I said, I don't really have emotional attachment. This thing just is in a box, and then every once in a while, I come across the box, and if somebody's here, I'm like, hey, check this thing out. I'm gonna go put it in a box for another couple years.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, if I had a nice place to display it, I
yeah.
would obviously have it out on display. But yeah, yeah, I paid $150, never looked inside. You're fucking right. And that was just for this, not even for the game. The game was just at what was that, 60 on its own. Um, and you know what? The game's underrated. A lot of people like to shit on it. I'm gonna stand on my soapbox. Andromeda's not as bad as people say. All
I
right,
still got to
is it?
play that game. Yeah,
Yeah, is it as good as the trilogy? No, it's not. We know it's not. But hey, give it a shot. Form your own opinion. Don't just listen to the internet, but do listen to the LWG podcast every week. You can find us on YouTube and all their social medias.
yeah, yeah. All
Yeah,
right. Well, that was our first ever LWG show and tell. Um, this was pretty fun. Maybe we'll do another one in the future. We'll see. But let's move on. Dan has some quick
real
wrestling
quick,
updates
real quick.
for us before we wrap up. What
Yeah.
you got
So
for us?
last week, AEW Dynamite had their Blood and Guts event. There might be a thing on Twitch against nipples. I don't know. I remember hearing about that years ago. But
Just ignore Rudy. Just ignore him.
oh, I know. But what's it called? So yeah, so it was the Blood and Guts pay per view. Basically, that is the old War Games type of match. For anybody who doesn't know, Eslam and Disco. What that is where you have two wrestling rings, two full size wrestling rings, one big cage going over both of them. You have multiple people fighting, and you let people enter the ring one by one.
Hmm.
And then the a match officially starts once everybody on your team, on both teams, are in the ring.
Hmm.
So you have one person on one side, one person on the other side. They beat the shit out of each other. Then it's a 2-on-1 situation, then 2-on-2, then a 3-on-2, 3-on-3, up until you have like 5 or 4 people, depending on how much they have. So we got to see the Blackpool Combat Club, along with Pac, going up against the Golden Elite, not the Elite, the Golden Elite. The reason why they were the Golden Elite was because we finally got the AEW debut of one Golden Star, Kota Ibushi. Um,
Hmm.
man's a badass. He had an issue I talked about on the podcast a while ago, where due to like injuries and stuff like that, he had issues with New Japan Pro Wrestling. He always wanted to be like he wanted to be a contractor. He didn't want to be an actual employee for any company. So once his contract finished out with them, he kind of just goes to whatever company he wants to, and he's just like, "Hey, I'm Kota Ibushi. I'm one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. I just go where I want." So he's able to do that now. He and Kenny Omega back in the day were formed a tag team called the Golden Lovers. One hell of a team, one of the most fucking badass teams ever. So they got to reunite. They went out there. It was a good match. Violent as Blood and Guts is because it's called Blood and Guts. We had a lot of broken glass, tables, thumbtacks glued to the bottom of some Jordans. People on top of the cage, getting fighting all over the place. So yeah, it was all that barbed wire. We had a bed of nails. So typical Blood and Guts stuff. It was a good match overall. It was all right. So we got that. And another thing, the G1 is still G1, and so the G1 climax is still happening. We're getting close to the midway point there. The matches are good. There's honestly the big standout for me is seeing Eddie Kingston being there. I talked about this last time. Just some dude from New York, just some like literally just some guy. If you walk into a barber shop and you just see some angry Puerto Rican New York dude, it was like, oh, that guy's out there fucking just living his dream, putting on some amazing matches. He's not like in the best shape, but I mean, the man can go. He knows how to. He knows like the Japanese like King's Road style, and he's good. He's very like emotional, very like passionate. Think about like Rocky, but just angry Puerto Rican. So yeah,
I want to hear that accent.
he's a New Yorker. He's got the New Yorker accent. He
Yeah,
literally shows up like wearing a Yankees hat and shit. Like he's just a guy. He's literally just a guy, but
that's
he's like,
funny.
yeah, no, one hell of a wrestler. He's been doing it for years. So I mean, he's been doing it for a real long time. So it's like he's finally kind of been getting his due ever since AEW started up. I see him in a couple things here and there, but like he's finally getting his due, and this is his first time ever competing in Japan, and of all things, he's in the G1. Like, uh,
Oh,
Japanese wrestling was like his all-time
that
favorite. So
climax.
exactly, and trust me, he's out there. He's climaxing.
Oh,
He had a big
aren't we
match
all?
with yeah, he had a big match with Ishii, the Stone Pitbull, and they were just going back and forth, just fucking just annihilating each other. So it was good. It was good. I want to see where he goes, but it's still going. I know Sonata is in the lead in his block. I know Okada is in his. So
Oh,
we'll
I
see where
thought
it
the
goes.
G1 climax had started.
It did. I just said we're almost halfway there.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Um, yeah, because I didn't know it went for this long. I don't remember. I thought it was like
It's like
a
a
weekend.
month.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, last
yeah,
year it
so
was like a couple
Yo,
weeks of
son,
us climaxing.
yeah,
you know my memory. Come
yeah.
on,
No,
bro.
it's a month.
All
Yeah.
right.
So like I said,
I'm
we're
gonna
we're
ask you the
getting.
same question next year.
I know you can ask me the same question next week.
That is true because it won't be over.
Exactly, it's still
Yeah,
going. I'm
I
like,
already
hey, G1's
forgot.
still happening. So we'll see. I mean, right now, prediction wise, it's like you kind of can't help but go for like the same people. It's like, all right, it's either going to be Okada or Tanahashi, maybe
Saying
Sonata.
random Japanese names again.
But we'll see. But if we could get Eddie Kingston, why the fuck not?
Yeah,
But we'll see.
let's go Puerto Rico. Um, is that it?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Awesome. Thank you for this Power Bomb Weekly. Can't even say it correctly. When I can't speak is that time
Yeah, the
to end the
podcast is done, guys.
podcast. Um, I don't know why that showed up, but thank you for listening to Los
He cut
Wise
himself
Guys.
out. He didn't even have
Thank,
his own name there.
thank you for listening to the Los Wise Guys podcast. I'm your host, Eslam, accompanied by Dan and
This man's doing
Dan.
the intro.
Yeah, I know. Um,